will jump right into the presentation and then I'll take your questions in the end, if that's okay. So, US clinical experience, everything you need to know / everything I know. So firstly, why do you need US clinical experience? There's programs that require you to have USCE, and they won't even consider your application if you don't have US clinical experience. So that's the #1 requirement. I think, so if you want to see, so I'll just give you an example, right? Because I like spoon feeding. So this is the website for University of Washington. It's just an example again. And their criteria for international medical graduates, it actually is 2 months of inpatient clinical clerkships. We even considered for application review. So these are the program requirements. They're very hard on that. So you need to have some clinical experience, which brings me to my second point. So the second requirement is not a requirement. The second point is a learning experience. I put 3 stars on it because it is going to be a huge learning curve for you when you come to the US. It's a different system here. And even before starting residency, you don't want to go in blind. You need to know where you stand. You need to know what to expect from a US clinical residency. So this will act like a sort of learning experience. And the third point is cultural experience. And by that, I mean fun. You are probably preparing for your steps, or you've given your step 1, step 2, and you just need a break. So you'll meet a lot of friends that will help you throughout your journey. It'll be a great cultural experience. So those are my reasons for you to do US clinical experience. Also to stand out among thousands of applicants. Just trust me, the number of applicants for 10 spots in each program is huge. If you think you got a 240, 250 and you're safe, you're not, because 100 or 200 other applicants have the same scores. So to stand out, you need good letters of recommendations, and you can only get that if you connect with mentors, go do some USCE. And so types of US clinical experience: you have electives, observerships, externships, and sub-internships. I will talk about each of that in a little bit, but research electives, it has 2 stars because that is not US clinical experience. A lot of people get confused because they think research elective is some sort of USCE. It is not. Okay, research is research. If you want US clinical experience, you need to do any of the 4 that I listed here. So electives, you're a medical student, it's hands-on, it is paid. You need to pay for the elective. They're not free. I only know of one free elective that is offered by NIH, but even that is not accepting applications the last time I checked. And I mentioned VSLO because it stands for Visiting Student Learning Opportunities. And in India, at least, I think about 10 to 15 colleges are affiliated to VSLO, and they get a lot of opportunities because they're already affiliated to other institutions. It's sort of like a global exchange program. Most Indian institutions don't have this. So it's just redundant to even talk about it. Look for institutions that are non-VSLO, and there are quite a few. You can find that list on my profile on the Indian IMG. I can share it after this session is over or whatever, but you have at least 10 universities offering non-VSLO opportunities. You can go check that out. And I want to talk a little bit about extending your graduation for electives. So first thing you do, you ask permission from your medical college, and then ask permission from your medical council, because permission is important. They need to be aware of the fact that you're extending your graduation, and find out if it's okay with them, because if it's not, then it'll be a problem in the future. You can extend by a year max. I say a year because anyways, the residency program during interviews, they're going to ask you why your graduation was finished in 6.5 years instead of the usual 5.5. So you need to give an explanation for that, and you don't want to make it 7.5 and then having to explain that you took a 1-year break or a 2-year break to prepare for your steps. So extend it by a year max. That is my advice. You can do it for 2-3 years. I don't know. I mean, it's your call. Your date of graduation is the date you apply for a degree. The day you finish your internship is not the date of your graduation. The day you apply for your degree is your date of graduation. So I hope I made that clear. So the forms required for an elective. The first thing you need is an AAMC immunization form. It's just a form that you can get online. It is a PDF form. Just type it in Google and you can get it. You don't need this just for electives, even for observerships, externships. Everybody asks you for your immunization forms, so they're super important. Get them done as soon as possible. Go to your nearest diagnostic center. They cost around 10 to 12,000 rupees, and in the end, you can get your medical or pediatric professor to sign off on it. TOEFL requirements are there for a couple of institutions like Cleveland. I think Yale requires TOEFL too, I'm not sure. But a safe score is 104. They have requirements on their programs. Each program has different requirements, but I'd say a safe score is about anything above 104. That costs $200, so TOEFL is $200. Malpractice insurance, and then again, health insurance over here. You can actually upload a dummy document, just a blank Word document or something that says, I don't have this insurance right now, but I will get it after selection. You can upload that document as on their application portal, and then send them an email saying, I will get these insurances after selection. I don't have them right now. And I just gave you a couple of leads. You can take a screenshot or whatever. But for malpractice, I found these online. And then for health insurance, you can use ICICI travel insurance. Lots of my friends used this for their electives. And then there's Atlas America, Patriot Plus America, and you can see all of that. So HIPAA certification is an online course. It costs $25. It is very optional. You don't have to do it, because once you're selected, you will have to do that institution HIPAA certification again. So this is optional. It's not necessary for every application. You need your transcripts. You need your USMLE scores. Again, this is optional. There are lots of institutions that provide electives without USMLE scores. But even though I did my electives before my step 1, my advice would still be get your step 1 done and then go for electives. So you need your PS, your CV, your COVID vaccination certificate, the respiratory fit test, mask fit test. I think this is a requirement for Yale, and I don't know what that is. So you just figure it out yourself or ask your college professors what that is. I'm not sure what that is. So visas, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know much about visas. All I know is about B1, B2. There's other sorts of visas, F1, what else? J1, H1B. There's a lot of visas that I don't know much about, but I will tell you what I know. And the rest you can ask Kim Kardashian after she becomes a lawyer. So the current wait time for B1, B2, I think is like 1 to 2 years. So what you can do is join Telegram groups. These two are the Telegram groups that I used to follow when I applied for my visa. Schedule a slot as soon as one becomes available. And you can always expedite. So suppose you have a slot in 2025. That's fine, okay? Because you can expedite the appointment by applying to an emergency visa. There's a detailed explanation of all of this in my posts. Go through that. It's even in my highlights. It says B1, B2 visa. So there's a small note. You can also do US clinical experience on a J1, but for J1, you need an institution sponsor, either for a long-term research assistant position or a volunteer position. You need that. It's a little complicated, but my advice, if you're doing US clinical experience for a short time, come here on a B1, B2, and that's as uncomplicated as it can get. This is a picture of a housefly, and that is exactly what you'll be doing during your observerships. You are a fly on the wall. You don't get to do much, but there's a huge but. So let me tell you about that. So observerships are hands-off. They're for graduates, and I just classified them into official and unofficial observerships, because what I mean by unofficial is you basically do the observership through connections, and by connections I mean relatives, friends, or anybody else that you know, and there's no formal application process for those observerships. You just ask the doctor and then you do it because they're your relatives. Official observerships are university or academic center observerships, and these have an application process. So paid versus unpaid observerships, for example. So this is an example again. I'm not endorsing any universities. So University of South Florida has an application process. It's online and it costs $2,000. The University of Florida, on the other hand, it is free. There's nothing online for University of Florida, but after you get a faculty acceptance, they will guide you to the proper application process. I want to talk a little bit about emailing for opportunities. Make sure your email is comprehensive, short, and by short, I mean really short, okay? They don't have time to read 2-page length emails. So it has to be max 3 paragraphs. The first one is a little introduction. The second one is body. And then the third paragraph, you ask if it's okay to rotate with them and you're looking for opportunities. So time here, it means you always email in the morning at 7:30 a.m. EST if you're looking for opportunities in the East Coast. Always email at 7:30 in the morning. So when the professor gets into their office, yours is the first email they see. Otherwise, if you send it in the evening, it just gets piled up and they may not be able to get to your email. So Google, I don't know what I mean by Google. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to show you, because I get a lot of DMs on this. I will spoon feed you again. New share. All right. So I wanted to show you how to find emails, okay? University of Florida. This is just an example again. Gastroenterology department. Faculty. So it literally says on the website, they have the names, they have faces, they have emails. It's really that easy. I don't know why people come on my DMs and ask me to give emails. It's all here, okay? And look for IMGs. I see a lot of IMGs here. You can just email them and ask if they have opportunities. So that's it. That's how you find emails. You go on the university websites, you type the specific department you're looking for. If in case they don't have their emails, type their name separately on Google and then add the word email to it. And if it's there, it'll pop up, okay? So that's it about emailing. I want to talk a little bit about Twitter. There's lots of cool stuff happening on my Twitter. You can find research opportunities, connect with people. And by connections, I don't mean, don't DM them asking for opportunities, but get to know them through Twitter, and then you can email them asking for opportunities. So externships, they're hands-on, they're for graduates, and they're rare, okay? Honestly, I don't know of any universities that provide externships, but maybe you can find them, I don't know. Heart and Vascular Institute provides a free externship if you have your step 1 and step 2 scores. Agency rotations, I guess they all say they're hands-on for graduates. So just find out more about each agency rotation before you get into it. So sub-internships, don't confuse them with electives. It's a little above electives. They're also rare. They are mostly for American graduates. So American graduates, if suppose, again, this is an example, person A wants to do a residency in neurology, they will do 1 to 2 months of sub-internship in the same department. Just to get more experience, they will be working at the level of a resident, of a first-year resident. So they'll do night floats, they'll do a lot of shifts along with the residents. So it's more intense than an elective. And that's how they get most of their letters of recommendations. It's optional for them. And for international medical graduates, I think this Larkin sub-internship, it costs $3,000. It's expensive. This is the order. I get asked often about which one's better. So sub-internships are always better, but you don't get to do a lot of this. You can do electives, and then externships are good, and lastly, it's observerships. So how many rotations should you do? I would say 3, but 2 is safe if you can't afford that much. But if you can do 3, you can do any number up to 6, but it gets expensive. So 3 is good, 2 is safe. Do how many ever you want. So to cut down costs of this whole journey, you can get accommodation close to the hospital. You commute by walk. Ubers are expensive. Meal prep on weekends. Don't be me. Don't order food all the time. Just do some meal prep on weekends, so it'll help you throughout the week. And fly cheap. By fly cheap, I mean not international. I mean international, you can figure it out, but local flights are pretty expensive too. So get on Hopper. Hopper is a good website where you can find cheaper airlines. There's also an airline called Spirit. It actually is, it's an airline that's very inexpensive. You can get tickets as low as $53. How early should you apply? I would say 6 to 12 months prior. Once you get into the application process, you will understand how long it actually takes to apply, to get all your AMC immunization forms ready, to get your transcripts, getting your medical school to understand this whole procedure. So start early, as early as 12 months prior. Emailing, you need to do at least 6 to 7 months prior, so that you can finish all the paperwork by the time you actually do your rotation. When is a good time to do rotations? I would say the final year. By final year, I don't mean your fourth. I mean your internship. That's when you get some free time, take a break, go do your electives, and then come back, finish your internship. That is a good time to do rotations. Contact your school alumni. Lots of your seniors might already be attending here in the US, so ask them for opportunities and they'll definitely help you out. Networking at conferences, if you've been to a conference. So again, as an example, I'm using myself. In April, I attended a conference. I got to network with a few residents, and I got a free observership opportunity at West Virginia. So that's how you do it. Just ask them. They'll maybe let the program director know that you want an observership. This is actually a link to a website. It's called US Clinical Experience. Just type this on Google and you will find it. I can actually take you to that website. New share. So this is the website. It is actually by far the most important website I've come across in this whole journey. This is where I learned most of it. So they have everything. They have explanation for what an elective is, what a clerkship is, what sub-internships are, what externships are. So you don't even need my webinar. You just get on this website and you can read all of this by yourself. They have a list for IMGs based on step 1 scores, based on fee, based on insurance, online applications. That's it. Just type in US medical school rotations and this will probably be the first link that pops up. What should you do if no one accepts? All I wanted to say is life is unfair sometimes. Even if you do everything right, you may still not get opportunities. This whole process, it's mostly based on luck, I would say, and a little bit on your CV. It's mostly your luck, okay? If you don't get any opportunities, it's just bad timing. So this is how you're going to feel when you step into the US for the first time. Here you are, too foreign for home, too foreign for here, never enough for both. And this slide is, again, a small unnecessary slide that I put just for fun because I have a lot of time. Preparing for your rotations, you will have a good fund of knowledge if you've given step 1. So that is the only reason I'm advising you to go for your electives. After you've given your step 1, you come up with cool diagnosis, impress your attending, and get a good letter of recommendation. So this is what I did. I watched YouTube videos on history taking an examination for my neurology elective. I asked residents what I didn't know, and they're always super helpful. They will go above and beyond to teach you. While you're at your rotation, learn to use the EMR, and then interact well with attendings. All of this I already talked about in my post, so you can go through that. Things to take, again, all of this. Steth, pen light, a small book, knee hammer and tuning fork only if you're in a neurology rotation.